Hello, my name is Joe, and welcome to another edition of Joe's Superfan Tabula's PC Gaming Channel, where I'm playing Planetbase, the outer space building and economy simulation game, where I am working on an achievement. I'm working on the last achievement in Planetbase, the Hybrid Challenger, to complete all the built-in challenges. And the current challenge that I'm on is called the Dark Moon. So, I have this little colony, and it's on a very dark planet, and I'm trying to keep it going here. We're outside of the normal trading lanes, and so we can't get anything from any trading ships. We have to make everything we have on site based on materials that we're either able to drill out of the ground or grow in our biodomes, and we have to be able to defend ourselves against hostile attackers. So that's why we're in the process of building up weapons. Uh, I had been allowing ships to land, and if someone looked hostile, I would lock all the airlocks and allow them to asphyxiate on the surface. But past a certain point, it gets to be a real drag, because then all the work on the base has to halt, and it's a pain keeping track of these guys, and so that's why we now have guards. And we're trying to stock the armory for the guards. Not all of them have weapons as yet. Since those weapons require, manufacturing of semiconductors, they need metal and all kinds of other goodies, and time from engineers. So out of 17 guards, only 7 of them are armed. Now we lost some guards in an attack because they didn't have armaments yet, so that's why we currently have all the starports and the landing pads shut down. So we're not allowing clearance for any ships to land. So for right now, I mean, the guards don't really have much to do. Meanwhile, engineering is working on producing weapons for them, and so each time a gun is completed, here we can see a guard here. If this guard is not already armed, my guess is that this guard will go pick up the finished weapon. Seems to be going a long way to a drinking fountain. I've got some that are a little bit closer to the guard station than this. So let's see if I'm correct. I bet this guard is about to go get a new weapon. Oh, going to go get meal. Alright. Well, I did locate a canteen much closer. There's a canteen here, and there are water fountains available, so I'm guessing this guard was doing this on the way to pick up a weapon, but here, let's see if I'm correct. I'm genuinely curious at this point. I guess this isn't the guard that's going to go pick the weapon up. Just felt like wandering around the base. Well, somebody's got to come and pick the weapon up. So the weapons are being produced here at this factory. And I'm guessing, let's see, oh, not this one. Oh, I guess the weapon got picked up already, and it's not in the hands of a guard yet, so it must be in storage someplace. Well, eventually a guard should arrive to pick it up. I'm assuming, since this is the closest storage, that the gun is somewhere in this pile of stuff here, but I don't know that for sure. Oh, somebody picked up that gun, wherever it is. So now if we go back and we check, instead of 7 armed guards, now we have 8. The good thing, though, is that we are making more and more weapons, so that eventually we should be able to get all of our guards armed. Oh, see, this arms workshop is completing another weapon as we speak. Oh, here we go. Here's a good angle on the weapons. So that's what they look like. guess someone will come by to pick that gun up. Now that we're catching up on metal production, because for a while we had run out of metal, which as a result meant that we didn't have metal to make semiconductors with, now we can look at potentially expanding the base further. So I was looking at things earlier, and see, there's the bar. And the further we get away from the base, well, that section, I'm thinking that we could always use another one. Well, of course, there's one here too. But I'm thinking eventually we will have another bar right over here. And this one will be a special one, in fact. Okay, I'd always intended for this to be a temporary airlock, so we'll go ahead and we'll take that off of there. Because I want to start building out this section here. By putting on more connections here, it'll give me more space to connect other structures out. Like in this case, I'm thinking that we don't have enough cabins here. I don't want to connect them to the security station here, this command center, because they need bulkhead space in order to have as many consoles as possible. So that's why I'm building off of this, so that I'll be able to expand this way. Now we will need to replace this airlock with something a bit more permanent. But we don't want it to be too close to the landing pads, because if hostile attackers come in, we don't want them to see an airlock over here as an alternative to go to. We want them to go through security and fight with everyone. That's part of the reason why there are so many airlocks here, so that if it was a very big shipment of bad guys, because there have been some in the past in other colonies where the ship is large enough that they don't all fit through one airlock, and so some will go to this one, and then if there was only one, then the rest of the group will go to another, and if I have all my guards focused in one place, they come in another location and they manage to kill a few colonists before the guards can react. So that's why we have so many airlocks here, so that there's no excuses. They can all land and all come in this central, well, basically kill zone. It's not unlike the way old fortresses were, designed, where they'd have a gatehouse, and that way if you came in with ill intent, hopefully they were able to deal with you before you got into the interior of the castle. Okay, I'm thinking you can never go wrong with more storage. That's provided I can find a place where it'll allow me to put it. Speaking of which, and we'll put more storage here as well. Okay, we'll go ahead and shut this multi-dome down. That way, I can decide all the items that will be in the multi-dome. Places on the bulkheads where these screens can go. There we go. Apparently there's only enough room for 2 of them. That's okay. Colonists don't like having to walk long distances with things, and bringing the materials over to this side of the base was probably quite a jaunt for them. That's why whenever possible, I prefer that carry bots do the work, since bots don't have morale problems. You don't see the bots at the bar, you know, slamming back WD-40. You'd be like, man, you don't know what kind of a day I've had. Whoops. No, actually, we do want that on. That way they'll go ahead and they'll put that together. Okay, I was wondering where they were going with those. I guess they're coming over here because there's no closer airlock since we recycled that one. What I'm looking at here is that this is basically our perimeter. And I'd like to build the structures out to this point and have an airlock out here somewhere. So it's far enough away from the landing pads that attackers will still prefer these airlocks, but we won't have people walking across the surface quite so far. I'm always concerned about them getting really tired, getting, having problems with dehydration, running out of oxygen, all the typical things that people need. like I'm cheating myself. I'm trying to get the maximum economy out of this surface area. I know this probably looks a little weird, but I did mention that this bar was going to be a little special. So because of its remote location and because I'm trying to surge out the colony's population because we need to reach 300 colonists, what I'm planning on doing here is basically having a super bar. So the way that this will work is that all the bars are large. 2 of the bars will have drink makers, and that's it. And 1 bar will be nothing but seating. So that way, we can just have people coming in here continuously, and the drinks never stop coming. That way, we can turn any frown upside down. Let's see. I'm just trying to figure out where to put my airlock without losing too much in the process. Oh yeah, and I was going to say, we're probably far enough away from a canteen to have another satellite canteen. Well, you know what? If we're having a super bar, we might as well have a super canteen over here as well. Wouldn't hurt. Oh boy. You know what? These Yutzes will wall themselves up. I want them to make these connections first, because it's a matter of what order the connections get made in before allowing them to close them shut there. Let's see. Come on, tell me that this is gonna. Oh, honestly, I have to be able to put the airlock someplace. One of the comments that I received on YouTube was that Planetbase might be more aptly called Planet Chess, since every move counts and has long-term consequences for the future. I guess I can't disagree with that. It does require a bit of doing in order to get these things going. Here, let's see. Speaking of Planet Chess, I'll ask them to go ahead and prioritize these structures in a row so that we can get an airlock going out here as soon as possible. Like I said, I'm trying to keep people off of the surface as much as possible. But I wanted to be able to build up in this area. Okay, good. As you can see, the cabin was actually needed. So we added another cabin here, and it's immediately being used. Yeah, because we've got plenty of guards, and we want them to be able to rest nearby without having to go long distances. We want them to be able to eat nearby and be entertained nearby. Oh, speaking of entertainment, that's what the multi-dome is for. A little non-alcoholic entertainment wherever possible. I like to give the colonists the option to be entertained in multiple ways. We could probably get rid of this little hill here. Alright, storage is pressurizing. Oh, although I didn't prioritize it, oxygen generators fall under life and safety, so I believe they get a higher priority regardless. This guy's honked off. He is definitely had enough for today. Hopefully he'll go get a beer for himself or something, or run on the treadmill, or, well, hamster wheel, or whatever you want to call these things. I guess we don't have treadmills on this planet, but we got the happy bench and the happy plant, and you can watch TV, do pull-ups, run on the wheel, or just drink yourself until everything doesn't seem like a problem anymore. Okay, I just have to check something real quick. Ah, there it is. Good, good. They're putting up these connections fairly quickly. Although, they're not doing them in the order that I asked them to. Shaking my head. Oh well. These sorts of things happen. You know, we have lots of little ridges over here. We could put in some additional lines. And so this could actually be a different, another ore processing section. I mean, the processors we have are doing a good job chewing through stuff, but we can always use more. Okay, good. These sections are going up. Once this canteen goes up and gets connected, then we'll have an airlock in this section. Yep, everybody's tired and hungry. Since the colonists are being worked hard putting up this expansion, the welfare is going down because they're all tired or miserable. As their needs are not met, the overall colony condition goes down. I just assume that they're like writing hateful things about me on Facebook and telling everybody, man, this moon sucks. You don't want to come here. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. You know, pirates attack you all the time. There's no, trading ships. This place sucks. Okay, until these are connected, I don't think... Oh, wait a minute, no. I guess that's funny. I didn't know that. I knew that you can't build into them until they're connected, but apparently it doesn't matter if what they're connected to is connected to anything else. Alright, well, I just learned a new thing. So as long as there is a connection, doesn't matter if it's complete, you can queue construction. I didn't know that. Which means, by the same token, we should be able to do this with the bar. Now, in the case of the bar, though, I'm going to power it down. Because I need to assess whether or not we have enough power and water to sustain these expansions before we activate them. Okay, so the oxygen generator will come online and then start producing here. Oh, and now the structure's up. We can start connecting them to each other. Well, these two need to be finished first, otherwise someone will definitely wall themselves up inside there. It's usually the way it works. I don't know if it makes a difference. I like to include the standing as well as sitting areas for the bar. Maybe they make a difference and maybe they don't. I don't know. But I include them anyways, just for variety. Okay, now we can make that connection. And this canteen will be nothing but meal makers. And until we have something else to put in, we'll go ahead and throw in screens. If we have to, they can always be recycled later, if for whatever reason we need to make connections. And then here, now we could put in the four-seater, but see, you only get one, so that would only be 4 seats per quadrant. Or if you go with the 2, we can have 6. The idea is to get more people fed simultaneously. And here, we'll even throw in happy plants. People like happy plants. Alright, and since we have multiple storage areas, this spot here probably would be a good spot for a future processing plant. Okay, good. They can make that connection, but I want these connections made first before requisitioning this connection. This processing plant will be strictly for metal processing. Actually, maybe I should move some of the metal processing because it looks like we are falling behind on starch. So let's look back. This is our original processing plant. We could have this plant go completely starch, so that all it produces would be bioplastics. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, we need to increase our capacity. Now I don't want to lose the productivity that we've already gotten here, so what I'm looking for is as they finish these, I'll recycle them. Once they reach 100% and I get my metal unit, then we'll recycle these and turn them into bioplastics processors. Of course, we'll have to wait for the next shift to come in for that. Let's see how we are doing on weapons. Oh, good. 13 out of 17 guards are armed. I want to get all the guards armed and have a few weapons in reserve so that I can bring in another shipload worth of guards, and then we can formally open up for business and allow more colonists to start landing again. Oh, that's right. And if we're going to take in new colonists, we also have to think about putting up more biodomes. Okay, both of these processors are busy. I want to see them get to 100% before I recycle them. I'd hate to recycle them as they're like 70-80% done and then have to start over again someplace else. What kills me is when they get to 99% and they're like, okay, break time. Union says, I'm like, no, finish the job. Okay, there we go. That's 100%. You're 100%. And here comes our last one. So we'll replace these with bioplastics processors so that hopefully we can catch up on some of the starch that's building up. Meanwhile, let's see. Oh, it hasn't been finished yet, but it's about to be. The new processing plant. This will take over the metal processing for the processors that were just recycled, plus add a few more. So we recycled 4, we'll replace them with 8. Now that connection is up, I can ask for another one. Whoops, no, not bioplastics. Metal. If you've ever played Planetbase and wonder how I'm laying down multiples, you just hold down the shift key and left click, and that way it allows you to put down more than one. Oh, speaking of which, here, let's keep this power down for now. We need to assess our power levels. So oxygen, we're doing okay for now, although we don't have enough oxygen for our goal of 300 colonists as yet. So that's still going to need to increase. And water is just barely getting by. So it's the water situation is not going to be very happy if we bring on multiple bars and canteens. And like I said, I'm also thinking we're going to need another biodome or two nearby. Not only that, but I'm thinking of putting a second processing plant here. Again, this will be for future expansion, so we can take advantage of the fact that we're concentrating a whole bunch of workers in this area. Now, as the population in this area gets really dense, I want to make sure that we don't run into a situation where we are having problems with oxygen levels. So I'm also looking at, let's see, if I put this here, I can connect to everybody. Oh, well, except there's a limited amount of bulkhead. I guess it'll have to just be this way. Yeah, because we're looking at having all these people working in such close proximity and high density, areas like bars and canteens. Lots of people breathing air, so we need to have oxygen generators that are able to service these areas. I just hate seeing blank spaces like this. Is there anything that I can get in here? I'd like for it not to go to waste, if I could. You know what? Here, I have an idea. Would it fit? No, it will let me get away with a small one. Alright, that way I'm maximizing the amount of surface area here on the planet. This way we'll have lots of facilities to get ready for the surge as we recruit new colonists. Speaking of which, here, let's see. Oh, wow. All this, yeah. This is the map perimeter. So we can build all the way out here. I know that we need more water. So we can increase the number of water extractors we have. Let's check to see, is it within the meteorite defense perimeter? Let's see, our nearest defender is here. It's just out of the perimeter. So a way to address that would be to have another defense turret here that would cover this side of the base. Actually, I think there is one. Oh, let's see how far that extends. Not far enough. Alright, so that gives me an idea as to probably need one right here, and that would give us the overlap to ensure all that infrastructure was taken care of all the way out. In fact, we can probably get away with it right here. Come to think of it. Let's take a look. Because we can't build anything, at least not externally, off of a cabin. But this is an external structure. Oh shoot, it doesn't reach. I was hoping that it would. Okay, well, maybe not there. I'll have to continue building out this way. I'm trying not to build too close to an existing one. Well, you know what? maybe the easiest way is to just go direct. Just put it off here. So that gives us all the stuff we need all the way up to the map border. It gives us double coverage to keep that gun covered, and protects this section of the installation as well. And the meteorites are always there to remind us that yes, you want to invest in meteorite defenses. It's always a good idea. Okay, so we're at the map perimeter. Yeah, that must be the perimeter there. So we're actually making the perimeter more visual. Okay, now we were looking at water. What about power? So the sun's coming up. Oh no, sun's going down. Never mind. I was reading that wrong for a second there. Alright, so we can see our power generation is going down to 0. And our consumption is at a solid 521 kilowatts. I figure we could always use more power. It's never a bad thing. Not having power is death, so it's okay to always have extra. And like I said, hopefully we don't end up with a broken connection. It's all kind of put together haphazardly in a tree. See, because of this large mound here, the base, I'm thinking, will come out to about here, maybe wrap around it. But everything beyond here can all be infrastructure that is doesn't require anything special, so it can all be power collectors and whatnot, you know, water extractors, water tanks, yeah, all the good stuff. And I can hear that wonderful sound effect indicating that we are straining on water. Now, we're not dipping into our reserves very much yet, but we're starting to. And that is why we don't have the new facilities online as yet. Ah, there we go. But now that we have a new extractor online, now all of a sudden, we're good to go on water. So a second extractor will make that even better. Although, considering the surge, I'm going to put up a third. Wouldn't hurt. I'd like to dig some of this out here. Yeah. Oh, this will go here. I thought this was the map perimeter itself. Well, let's see. I guess I misjudged it. This little area here is within the boundary for building. Just that one little spot, apparently. Well, every square meter of the planet counts. It's good to build up wherever I can. Yeah, see, this is all outside the perimeter also. kind of right up against the perimeter. I can't go beyond it. Oh, actually, you know what? Before we do that, I want to make sure this is up as close as I can get it. There we go. To the hill. Okay, that's storage. So that's good. It's good to see plenty of facilities available to keep everything going. There's lots of surplus food, so we're not having any trouble there. Oh, although we see a lot of icons here, it might be time to hire some more biologists. We have expanded our facilities quite a bit, and I'm looking at putting up additional biodomes, so might need some more. You know, speaking of stuff like that, for future expansion, we can put up a lab. Let's see, will it fit? Oh, it won't fit. I'm trying to make use of every square meter, so here, we can put in a little lab. Come on, you were going to let me do that. I just can't get one that's 2. Although maybe I can. It'll take a little finagling. I'll have to trim this a bit. You gonna let me trim it? It's telling me no. Trying to use some of my Planetbase tricks in order to trim things a bit. There we go. To basically dig out some area here to where I can fit in a larger lab facility. Pretend to connect that. Oh, delightful. That'll make a cut. I might actually be able to get this. Alright, now that we've dug this out a little bit, still want to be difficult, huh? Yeah, it'll take the small lab, no problem. I want the big lab. And I'm sure it can be done. Trying to think of what I can put here. Already bringing out the construction supplies, guys. I'm not actually going to make this. I appreciate the initiative, but I'm just trying to dig this out, see whether or not I can. The problem with stuff like this is that this is too tall. There's no way that I could actually clear this, so the best I could do is like nibble at the side of it to see whether or not I can carve out just enough space in order to get that lab in there. We still don't have the meteorite defense up. Let me guess, oh, it's only pending assembly. Good. Of course, that will draw on the power. Since we have this prime real estate here next to airlocks, it's probably time to add some more solar cells. which, let's go ahead. We'll move this water extractor. See if we can get a solar cell in here instead. I like having them right next to airlocks whenever possible. And we'll move the water extractor to a new location. Oh, come on. That should fit. Honestly. Alright, fine. We'll put it out in the... Well, that could be a spot for another cell as well. It's already nicely put out there. Let's see. Where can we jam you? Well, might as well put it over here. In fact, why have one when you can have two? And we'll even throw in a water tank. This will allow us to connect the infrastructure so that we have a little redundancy. Which means we can connect more infrastructure out here. But I want to avoid having things like solar panels out there because of the distance from the airlocks. Okay, that hasn't been cleared yet, but it's about to be. Now, I don't know if it will fit. Oh, it fits. It definitely fits. Alright, good. More solar panels. And because we put up more solar panels, we need more power collectors. Well, of course, we put up, what, 2 more here? Because I like to put 2 power collectors for every solar panel, which means I need to find a place for 2 more. We were just looking at a section that looked like it was great for infrastructure. Wow, what the heck? Instead of 2, let's put up 3. Can never have enough power. Not enough means death, so I'm gonna err on the side of caution. Okay, I can't make that connection. It won't allow me to. This will help ensure that there's plenty of power for all of our new expansion areas. Now that these power collectors are connected, hopefully, well, unfortunately the day's almost done, but oh, look at that. The moment it was connected, it began charging. Probably with enough residual daylight, we might be able to get them completely full. Yeah. That makes me want to put up even more power collectors. Because it seems to be a strong indicator that, at least for now, we are able to generate so much surplus power that we'll have no trouble charging these things. Now later, that might be an issue. As we expand the base and our power requirements go up, might run into problems, but I'm trying to make this easy. Okay, good. Our little cabin is up. This cabin's going to be very cozy. I think it will only be able to house 5 colonists. So, still not quite a private cabin, but it's a whole lot better than those other cabins where I think you've got quite a bit more. Let's see, 7 people. So, all right. So you get 2 less people in the small cabin versus the larger one. Now the food stocks are going up, and it looks good the way it is, but keep in mind we haven't added more colonists yet. As soon as we start to, it's going to go the other way, and that's why we have all this future expansion available. Speaking of which, here, let's see. Since we have nice big storage domes here, this is the perfect place for a future expansion biodome. Not only that, but it has an oxygen generator available to ensure that all the biologists have what they need in order to work safely. Ah, good. And it'll connect to all these storage areas. And then in turn, you know, it'll have lots of food to provide for the super bar and the little canteen over here. The canteen's not quite a super canteen. It only has room for one set of meal makers versus the bar, which has two sets of drink machines. But wish there was something I could build here. I look at every square meter of this planet and I'm like, I want to build something. Alright, it's good to see the defenses are on point. So we currently have good coverage. Looks like we've gone through all the metal again. For a while there, and for a very brief while, we had a little metal surplus. Not so much anymore. Yeah, nothing fits over there. This is prime real estate because it can connect to these other areas. I'm debating actually recycling this power collector so that I can put in even more cabins, because they have to be on the periphery of the base, and then I would have to connect this into the base somewhere else. So we could have something come off here, connect this in. This would allow me to recycle this power collector. So let's plan to replace that power collector now that I see how this is working out. Can't be too inflexible with the way that your base is. It's whatever will give you the best bang for the buck. Ooh, of course the catch is going to be oxygen. Maybe I won't nuke that after all, because I'm thinking about the number of people. If I had cabins here, and then plus all the people in the bar and the canteen, and then one oxygen generator to supply everything that they need, versus I could hang another one off here and then have cabins on either side. Kind of like that. Well, let's try that. Just wondering if I have enough room. Oh, it doesn't fit. Oh, it doesn't fit. Small one does. Well, you know what? Here, I'll go with a small one here. A large one here. Now still, this might be a lot for the oxygen generator, so just to make sure. And it's not going to let me use the bigger one. But I can get away with a smaller one. I know, this is going to seem excessive, but I'm thinking about how the oxygen moves through the colony. Okay, it's not going to allow me to make that connection. But on the plus side, if I can't make that connection, then... Oh! Let's see. You know what? It's probably easier if I... my OCD triggers. I want to have them all connected off of a central hub, but it would be better if this one is connected over here. Okay, good, good. This will be lots of cabin space for lots of new colonists. You know what, for once I will trust these guys. Watch them immediately prove that I shouldn't. All the guards are armed. Excellent. All right. So, what do we want? I think we need more biologists. For now. So let's go ahead and reactivate. Alright, so all the guards are armed and ready. If someone gets off and has bad intentions, they're going to have a bad day here at the Dark Colony. Okay, good. This birthing complex is going to go up. And we'll be able to put in lots more cabins for new colonists. This will also consume all those surplus bioplastics that we have. And at least we're processing more bioplastics than we were before. I didn't realize cabins required water. Did it say out of water or out of power? Probably out of power. Actually, that makes me curious now. Do cabins consume water? No, just power. Oh, there we go. As long as it has that one connection, I can build. Or, well, queue building, I should say. Unfortunately, we're going to have to listen to those alarms until such time as it gets around to finishing the structure off. Let's go ahead and advanced speed. I saw a ship land in the distance. If we don't see an alert, then that means that... Oh! Yeah, there's an alert. The very first ship that comes in and they want to fight. Let them have it, guys. One of the nice things is that since we're using weapons based on light, they will penetrate the colony, since it's transparent bioplastic. Whoa, no casualties. Woo! And that's the difference it makes to have everybody armed. Alright, and so now the wounded can go ahead and go get treated. Although this does highlight that we need to have more guards. Darn it, the very first ship that lands is a bunch of attackers, you know. Typical. All the guards got tuckered out and left their posts. I hope they get back to it soon. Where are the medics? We have 4 medics for this entire colony. And sometimes, oh, here comes a medic. The injuries are severe enough that they do require a medic's attention. So we've got plenty of spare medical supplies, so that part's not an issue. We'll be able to get everybody treated and back to work. Here comes another ship. Please don't be attackers. Okay, these are all good guys. Speaking of which, okay, I was forgetting that I probably do need more guards, so... I was very glad to see that we were able to fight off the attackers without taking any casualties. All the wounded are being treated, and they're ready to fight again. Ah, there we go. Here's another cabin up. Uh-oh, ran out of spares? How's that possible? Oh, because we're using all the metal for construction. I guess I'll have to cool it on all the... and all the building, and let them catch up on the making spare parts. Well, I can't resist. There are some things that just need to be done. See, until it's connected, I can't edit the structure. But once the connection is made, then I can cue my construction. Alright, so construction enabled. I see another ship landing. I assume they're good, unless I hear otherwise. that will be available for future expansion. Good. I see we're getting some spare parts made. It'll take a little while to get us back up to the level we were at before. Alright, so now we have 20 guards, 2 of which still need to get their weapons. But that should be alright. And here, let's go ahead and set us to a nice balanced loadout for recruitment. On the plus side, I'm not hearing any complaints about water or power. So even though we're well into the night, power is only at 50% in terms of our reserves. Water is great. Oxygen's great. We're actually over the amount of oxygen production that we'll need to complete this challenge. So everything's looking good. Impact on connection. Well, it's a good thing that there's 2 different connections, both here at this airlock and over through this starport, so we don't lose access to any of the power. This is exactly why I like to have redundant connections wherever possible. Speaking of which, here, let's make some more. It's never a bad thing. Okay, good. With all the guards on duty, I can just let ships land and let colonists come in here. And if bad people show up, they'll deal with them. Just kind of visually looking to see how things are looking in terms of supplies and whatnot. It's never good to see the factory idle, but I know why. It's because I'm taking all the metal. You know what? That's probably the first thing we need to change is we had decreased the amount of metal we were processing. That needs to be fixed. Well, you know what? Here, I'll wait a little bit. Let me finish the construction first. I'm always biting off more than I can chew. So we'll get this expansion here completed. I'm also thinking that we are far enough out here. Well, of course it's close to an airlock. I was debating putting another airlock over here, but I don't know that it's actually necessary. Oh, that's the other reason why the metal is, we're not even done with what I've already queued up. So more structures are still under construction. Yeah, see even more. Oh boy, yeah, I've got stuff to do. with this? It must have been a robot that died on the surface. Yep, still quite a few items still under construction. Yeah, they prioritize, I believe, the base expansion over the infrastructure stuff. Oh, out of spares again. Gotta keep producing that metal. Well, you know, looking at the time, this is probably a good spot to end this video here. Join me next time here on Joe SuperFantabulous PC Gaming Channel, where we'll have more fun with the Dark Colony, and we're basically getting ready for the Surge. So now that we have our guards in place and they are armed to the teeth, we're ready to just go crazy. And you see all these structures here that are powered off? Well, we've been building up our power collectors and solar cells and water tanks for our reserves, so that we can activate all of these structures next time. Now, the key is going to be bioplastics. All that internal stuff is going to require bioplastics, and some of them will require metal, the metal processors in particular. So we'll build up those supplies and then begin a major expansion for the base. That's why we've been putting up future biodomes for future expansion. We have all this berthing for additional personnel, so we have lots of places to eat, sleep, work for all the new incoming colonists. And we'll see. We'll see if we can make our colony excellent again. Of course, the problem is that everybody's kind of tired from all the construction. I'll need to let them rest a little bit in order to get our status up, so that people will want to come to this colony. There's lots and lots of work to do. On the plus side, I hear another ship landing. So it looks like lots of people do want to come here. Oh, well, one new biologist. Well, the good thing is that there we go. These biology domes are biodomes are going to have less and less of these icons as we get more biologists to be able to keep up with the demand. I mean, by and large, they look like they're in relatively good shape. They're being tended to. Crops are good. We're not having any big problems. Okay. Oh, and here goes some more future expansion. So here, matter of fact, that'll be the last thing we do here for this episode, is we'll queue up what will be going here in the near future. Just look at all these high density areas, and I only see this one oxygen generator here. I mean, there's this one way over here, but it's got lots of other stuff that it's servicing. So probably have another one here, and that means I need to put something there. You know what? Here, maybe queue up more construction, because you can never burn up enough metal. And then once all this is done, then I'll finally order this connection. That way someone doesn't wall themselves up inside here, because they always seem to do it in the wrong order. Okay, radish. And wheat. speaking of which, I never did carve out that space there for that lab. So I was just thinking about burgers, and then I was like, in order to do burgers, we'll need to carve out some more lab space. Well, I mean, I could get by with the small lab, but I'd like the big one if I can. But we'll see about that here in the near future. It's good to see more colonists arriving. And we're not having any trouble powering up all those starports and running everything through the night. Plenty of power. Oh, and we're back up to excellent. Okay, good. Everybody had something to eat, had some alcohol to make them happy again, and we're able to get back to work, which means that more ships will land more frequently. All right, well, I'm definitely over on my time. Join me next time here on Joe Superfan PC Gaming channel for more fun in Planetbase as we go towards the final challenge, the Hyper Challenger. And as we get through the Dark Moon Colony Challenge. Now, granted, I'm taking the slowest route possible here because I've already completed. There's another challenge where you have to complete the Dark Moon Challenge in so many days. Here, I'm kind of taking a leisurely route because I can. So we'll go ahead and we'll open up the floodgates and get everybody down here on our next episode. See you then. Yep. Let me save my place. Make sure we don't lose it. See you next time.